Let's see it. Let's see it, secret.
If not, they're gonna pick a flex 3/4 here, I think, so that Mirana is still open to be mid 3 or 4. Ember is open to be 1 or 2. And Ogre is the only piece that Bate really knows, but they can't really solve in laning with their picks anymore. They already have. I guess they could go something like Batrider to try to beat Ogre in lane or whatever, but didn't work out very well for them last game to go Bat.
Well, Bate did take Vengeful Spirit, which is a form of save. How often are we seeing core Venge? Is that even a remote possibility?
It is.
Or is this pretty much resigned to being one of the supports?
Seen it run mid, off lane 5, 4. I don't know if we've seen it flat out position 1 Venge lately, but
it's been a while for a 1.
This to me is the hardest counter in the game to Treant, by the way.
The Batrider?
It is so good against Treant. It's absurd. You burn down the trees. Treant is naturally slow, so he hates sticky napalm. He has bad turn rate. You can use sticky napalm to scout him out in the trees. You counter him in lane. It's like, yeah, you're picking this into Venge that can technically swap save against Lasso, but I don't think it matters because the matchups against Treant and Ench are just that good. And again, this is a flex pick. The Batrider doesn't have to be core. It can be 5, 3, 4, 2. Tons of options once again for Secret with these 4 heroes. They can go anywhere, do anything. Yeah.
So wait, if this was a core Batrider, you wouldn't care that there's a Venge on the other team?
I think it's overrated as a counter, to be honest. It's like, yeah, countering Lasso is obviously not bad in that way, but let's compare the Venge as a counter to the Abaddon of last game, right? And look at what they provide. Venge has one solution to Lasso where she displaces herself, puts herself at risk to stop the Lasso on the Bat, and then interrupts the Lasso. Abaddon has... He's a bad target himself, so Bat can't jump him. He has a low cooldown save versus Venge's high cooldown save.
10 seconds to go.
Which can then not be used offensively. And he can remove Napalm. So he's just like the whole package.
Seconds.
Venge has one thing that she does, and it requires level 6. So in lane, it doesn't do anything either.
And level 6 is even that is not the greatest range to be able to do much with either way.
And it's like, I think a lot of people have this point of view about Batrider that is a bit outdated, I would say, where they put way too much emphasis on Lasso, when the way the hero has developed over the last couple of years has been a lot more in the direction of vision, damage over time, lane dominance, rather than, oh, I'm going to rush dagger and catch someone, right? It's very clear from how pros itemize on the hero that that's not the preferred or even the good playstyle anymore. Like, how often do you see Bat go blink first item in Pro Dota? It's like, I don't know, 1 out of 10 games maybe, or even less. And that's probably when it's a support. If it's a core, it's like almost every game Travels or Drum. And then afterwards, sometimes utility items like Force Staff, Yules, BKB is popular. And sometimes Blink, of course, is a secondary item also picked up.
But this has like a push 5-man lineup written all over it for Bate. You got the Venge, Drow with the auras, obviously Ench and Tree. Typically, you'd see. For some reason, Visage comes to mind as a hero that would fit in this strategy very well.
With the old Drow aura, that would have been obviously really strong. I still think it's a fine pick, but the problem is you don't know your lane matchups. Visage fares very poorly against Batrider a lot of the time.
Is that why they banned somebody like Viper that can just withstand pretty much anybody mid and just be self-sufficient?
Maybe they're planning to pick a hero that Break really, or maybe that Break just really ruins on Secret. Not sure if there's anything that really stands out right now. We'll see if the last hero even matters for it.
All right, well, Queen of Pain. Bristle was banned last game. That doesn't really feel like it because they wanted Visage lineup.
Or because they had Visage. It's one of the best
Just thinking
counters.
of Break being a big deal.
Yeah.
Huskar is obviously one of those. It doesn't feel like this really fits in this lineup.
I think you want somebody that just gets on top of Drow.
Wow.
Oh my god, it's a good Brood game. Oh no.
They have almost no AoE other than Queen of Pain.
There is literally nobody on Bate that can lane against this hero and be happy right now. Yikes.
Yeah, that's a good Brood game.
This is a really good Brood game, and that's obviously one of the X factors or aces you have up your sleeve with a player like Matu is he's a carry player, but if it's the right game for it, you can put him on a hero like this. This to me is possibly the best counter to Drow Ranger in the whole game. She hates being when heroes get on top and just kill her off. She can't deal with spiderlings at all. You have Gust and then you die. It's a bit better now with the third spell, but it doesn't kill the spider army and it can move around you while you're sending out the flurries. You can't lane against Brood at all. It's a totally terrible lane matchup, and Brood just starts taking over the jungle area that you want to farm with your ult, and every time you go there, you get bullied away. So really, really tough times. I think this is a much bigger outpick than game 1 for me. I'm like super in favor of Secret's draft, even disregarding what teams are playing. Like, it's this is such an incredible Brood game.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks quite dominant indeed. We'll see how the other lanes end up shaping out here. So I guess I don't have to ask you who you think's going to win this game.
No.
Either way, I mean, this is more of a...
You'll have to do better than that.
What's the best way to put this? It's a glorified scrimmage for Bate, because they want to practice with this relatively new lineup of theirs. But it feels like they've been outdrafted heavily by dominant Secret, who actually won the last game in 23 minutes, I believe. So what's the timetable looking like for... How about this? Let's go with this a different... They're all tipping Matu right now. They are disgusted with this pick. Let's look at it from base perspective. What is their avenue to win this game? Do you need to shut down the Brood early? Is
you have to crush your lanes. Like, I actually don't see any other strategy here that's going to work. Then you need to run over your lanes so you're ahead, and then look to pressure the Brood whenever possible. And I think the only way to kill this Brood in the jungle is with Venge plus Quap, and at least one more hero, or the Brood just
so 3 here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I mean, maybe Venge Quap can do it for a very little amount of time, like when they're both just hitting level 6 or something. But as soon as Brood gets, I don't know, the first item and a couple of, like, let's say level 10 or something, I don't think they kill it with 2 heroes anymore. It's tough. It's a really difficult strategic game for Bate to play, and yeah, Secret just identified that this is a Brood game. It's pretty rarely a Brood game nowadays, to be honest. You don't see this hero picked very much, but it's still insane in the right circumstances, and this is one of those games for me. So.
And in the right hands, which, I mean, we've definitely seen Matu
and away we go.
Brood before. It's one of his filthier heroes for sure, as it looks like the bounty runes will be split. And let's see what the lanes end up shaping out to be. So it's going to be Zai's Batrider, Puppy's Ogre in the bot lane versus 5-up, otherwise known as Sup to some people, syndereN, the Treant Protector, and Crystallis on the Drow. So let's look at this lane first, and I ask you, how does this shape up as a 2v2?
This is a bad lane against Batrider. Drow Treant. Both heroes hate this matchup. Very prone to getting dove, don't have mobility. Look at both heroes already being very slowed down, having very limited options. And then you have a frontlining Ogre to even cover for the Bat, so they can't really play it aggressively very well. Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, on top of that, this is just having that Ogre, all that armor to tank up for you, the frontline, like you said.
It's like, on top of this, I don't think Drow is very good in Dota right now. I think it's one of the weakest carries for me personally. All right, they caught Zai. They got a nice angle on him.
Zai pops the fairy fire. He's panicking. First blood to 5-up.
Yeah, Puppy was just not near him at all. The Puppy was out on a mission trying to kill a courier, maybe. That's what he likes to do in this patch.
All right, you said Drow sucks in this patch. You talked a lot of shit about Tree as a hero right now. Is this the handicap? Is this enough of a handicap?
I think they're still going to lose this lane. But it helps, for sure. Like, I think this was a blunder from Secret. Like, Zai was kind of playing like Puppy was there and he wasn't, and they took advantage of that and went in. But the matchup is still just inherently so bad that you can see they're even TPing Enchantress down here now to help. I think they know that there's going to be some real trouble. And this means they leave Venge 1v2 top against Ember Mirana. That is dangerous. You can get Slight chained into Arrow. If they kill Zai
Yasuo's
again
just
here,
chilling
with this surprise rotation, this could be
Yeah,
really
he's
good.
taking a ton of damage. Orb of Venom, of course, on the tree. But yeah,
that
Zai
time
will get
Ogre
away.
was there.
And will burn down the creeps as well. I believe, yeah, last hero at the top lane was arrowed, but Nisha was not really close enough to team up with his comrade there to get the kill. But yeah, this is going to be a tough lane, 1v2. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. I mean, he's still obviously out-leveling Yapso right now, but it is still very early in the game. Zai in the bot lane chasing Fishman, who will enchant him. They do have a lot of slows in this lane. That is something I will say. The Orb of Venom slow, the Enchant slow, Chrysalis, of course, with the Frost arrows. Not to mention Nature, Nature's Grasp. Forgot the name of that spell. So that is 4 slows, syndereN. And they stack. It's incredible. All right, what about this mid lane? So you discussed how they have basically no answer for Brood in lane right now. What can Dendi do as he'll blink away to safety for now.
Did that answer your question?
I'm trying to look at the
He's
positive
forced back
light
to
here,
base level 4. It's not a good look right now in the mid lane.
Well, if you're Bate right now, do you bring somebody over to try to dual lane? Does that make any difference at this stage?
No.
I mean, Matsu's already doing the jungle surprise here.
You have to accept that this lane is lost, and you have to get as much out of it as you can. So give Quap the levels. When she's level 6, maybe you try to rotate and kill that lane, or she rotates and kills something else. But the more heroes you bring to this mid lane, the harder you're going to lose the map. Like, Brood doesn't even care. It's just going to jungle. So you can't expend resources like this. It's not going to be worth it. Matu's still just bullying them.
Yeah, Dendi getting living armor right now. He got the range creep, missed pretty much the whole wave though, as Matu just zoned him out completely. Level 4.5 on Dendi versus almost level 6 on Matu. So a very stompy mid lane. 32-3 for the CS versus 13-4. So of course some of that is jungle creeps, but still. Top lane, we're gonna see a fire blast on the Fishman into an arrow, and Puppy will smack him down. It is now a 2-1 advantage in terms of just the kills for Bate. How's this bottom lane going now? It is with Ogre gone. I believe he is TPing back though. Yes, he has returned. Back to a 2v2. Zai is almost level 4 right now, continuing to get slowed as Puppy's going to fire blast the Drow Ranger. Ooh, not able to really get a good clip there with multi-shot.
And just there again. Just notice how many problems Bate have to fix, right? Playing Dota like this. Oh no, he got arrow. He might die here.
Yes, he did. He really wanted that bounty rune. Fire blast to follow. Doesn't have the heals.
It's
down he goes.
It's really difficult to play Dota when you have to put out fires everywhere. And basically the mid lane is burning. The bottom lane didn't burn as much as it could, but think about how many people they had to send there. Enchantress started tri-laning there. Even after they got first blood, they felt the pressure needed to help it. And that also means their top lane is on fire, where last hero is now level 4 against level 6 Ember. So effectively, even though the Batrider's game is bad, I would say Secret have won 3 lanes.
Right. I love the analogy, by the way. I believe the mid lane, I would consider this just the Ash. It's just in ruins right now. It's already over. Not even remotely close. Dendi has come in. He scream at pains and just blinks away immediately. Like, he literally cannot play Dota right now. Like, really unfortunate. The hero just does not fare well. I mean, he does have some support in 5-up who's just going to get potentially taken down by Batumba right now.
At least the new living armor is a lot better against Brood than the old one.
Oh, Dendi. Oof. A lot of damage being done.
4 on Quap.
Yes. Almost hitting level 5 here is Chrysalis in the top lane. Going to team up with the Venge. Nisha did have a Remnant, but didn't go very far with it. Has a couple more, though. And we'll get out. Expends a lot, though, to be able to live there. He can't
drop a Remnant in TP base because he doesn't have the cooldown. So he needs to wait 20 seconds before he can do that. So that's a bit of a slight win for Bate. They are, of course, 4,000 gold behind him at 640. That's a slight loss.
Slightly. I mean, 1,000 of that by itself is the middle. Dendi actually... yes. That was actually a very fortunate rune, by the way. Oh my god.
I have a little bit of a quiz for you here. Oh, you love giving me quizzes, right?
I do.
Okay, without looking, what do you think the win expectancy of this game is right now?
Well, I don't even have the key to be able to look. So win expectancy right now?
Yeah.
85%.
50-50.
What? As the arrow connects top lane onto Fishman. How's that possible?
I don't know. People in bugs are
stage?
terrible when they have Brood. I don't know. In a competitive setting, the win expectancy. I mean, that really goes to show how you should probably take the win expectancy with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like, this dire advantage is massive right now. I don't know what, if I were to have a bet with you right now, like what odds I would give you for Radiant winning this game.
1,000 to 1, syndereN. I'll put $1 down.
Maybe not that extreme, but
Dendi
every
is
dollar
level 6
counts.
now.
Maybe I should just take that bet and make another $1.
Takes out last hero and just extends this lead even further to the 5k discrepancy right now. Tier 1 tower bottom looks like it will fall. Not exactly the greatest pushing tandem here with Puppey and Zai, but they'll get the job done. Matu has the tower at half HP mid, but it's really less about the tower pushing right now, and it's more about just his farm discrepancy. Sonic Wave used just to clear up the spiderlings.
This is smart, because now it looks like Dendi has done really well because of his CS. He killed like 30 spiders or something.
Yeah,
he has 90 CS. It's like, guys, I won mid.
Well, he's going to continue to get chased here, holding on to that blink.
Honestly, it's not a bad Sonic Wave. He defended his mid tower. Somebody needed to clean out that spider army, and
no doubt.
It sucks to use Sonic, but you got to do it. Right? It feels so bad, but it's probably the best play.
We talked about their AoE. It's like virtually nothing without him. Matu getting very aggressive. There are 3 heroes here for Bate, so if they get vision.
He's zoning 4 heroes, or is it only 3? Yeah, it's 3. He's zoning 3 heroes behind the mid tier 1 tower, minute 9. Top lane Nisha.
Top lane Nisha. I believe he dodged the Centaur stomp. Really well done. He's going to turn around onto the Enchantress. Crystallis looks like he'll get out with a sliver of HP. So if you're fighting against, like in a game where you don't have heroes that are good against the Brood, is there an item that you try to rush? Like old school Drow might go for, I don't know, like an Aghanim Scepter or something like that, but ugh. Maelstrom.
Should probably finish his treads first and then see how it's going.
Man, you are savage today, syndereN. Goodness.
I mean, are we watching the same game? How is he getting an X this game? Like, look at it.
Hey, if you're slacks, you go brown boots, Ags every
Sometimes
time.
Sometimes you just have to call a spade
a
spade. They're getting destroyed, man. Like, this is... It's a beatdown. It's an absolute beatdown. And it is what it is, you know? Like, sometimes in Dota, you get brooded like this. And...
It's true.
I mean... Ideally, what Drow wants to go is probably something like maybe Ags, just so they have something against the Brood, but you have to, like, how do you get there? I think rather than focus on Drow's items, it's like, how do you get any foothold on the map whatsoever? And then you can start talking about items. Like, if they wait for items, the game is over. Like, they have to basically go on some full-on YOLO moves right now. They're 1,000 GPM behind in the game, minute 10. So... if you don't, say, go for some smokes with your Venge Drow plus Quap or whatever, done.
Whoa, the arrow completely misses Yapstor with a very uncharacteristic mistake there. Mid lane, though, Treant Protector does fall. Last hero looks to be getting a swap. Matu, this will be a huge kill. They'll get him. Very, very big kill. Last hero will be the trade. Puppey, still Moonlight Shadowed.
There was finally a 3-man gank with the Venge. They got the swap off, they got the minus armor out, and... Quap, Ench, and Venge could do enough damage to get the Brood kill. So,
if it's only, syndereN, if only this was the patch that's coming out in 2 weeks, where they will inevitably change the rubber band. The net worth has not changed. Despite that kill, there is literally no change.
That's actually a really good point about Brood strategies, right? So Brood strategies, when it gets last pick, a lot of the times, or well, pretty much every time, it's because it's like an amazing game where you imagine Brood can just dominate. But in the past, Brood's downfall has been, if you do very well but make a couple of mistakes when you're far ahead, your kills really punish you and your team, because you're that far ahead. But when it's this patch and the kills are worth that little, that means if it is a good Brood game and you get ahead, you're in such a dominant spot in the game. Like there's very, very little that the plays that Bate could have done half a year ago to get back into this game. They feel like they need to do them twice over, right?
Right.
Yep. And that's tough. By the way, just want to point
Fishman
out how
took the brunt of the
disgusting
damage
Brood
here
is
to
with Bloodlust
start.
on.
Yes, he does hit quite fast.
No, not that. How
Enchantress
it
gonna
looks.
fall.
You'll see it later.
All right, you know what? I'm not even gonna call this fight because you just made me very interested. He doesn't have bloodlust on him, syndereN.
No, he did earlier. You know what it does? It
God.
stretches all of his legs out entirely. I'm not even joking.
It stretches his legs out.
So you see the legs are bent, right?
We have an overgrowth into a sonic wave. Holy jeez, they killed somebody. Looks like Treant Protector will cost him his life. Zai on the cliff will TP out to safety. Nisha will TP out as well as Matu comes in and slaps Fishman right on the back of the head. Still no bloodlust onto Brood. I'm waiting. Aghanim Scepter is available to purchase now for Matu. Just needs to get that courier in position.
Okay. Now that things have settled down, look at Brood right now. You see how bent the legs are?
Yeah.
When he was bloodlusted earlier, they were entirely straight. Like they were just like spears coming out of the chest. It looked horrifying for a spider.
I'll be the judge of this.
Yeah, let's see when we get there.
It made the legs more erect, I see.
Let's see
no
the
bending
bloodlust come out.
whatsoever.
Puppy, do it. Bloodlust him.
Yeah. Oh my god. Venge.
Look
that
at
is
Brood.
A very fast kill. Oh my god, look at the legs. You're right. What the What in the that is terrifying.
I wonder if Matu can even concentrate. Like, I guess they're still bent a little. Like it actually looks like he's flailing nonstop.
Yeah, he
Wait,
is
that the Brood flailing animation? Is it the animation Brood has when it's gripped?
I don't know.
It kind of looks like he's moving and flailing at the same time.
It looks like a broken animation more than a stretching of textures or whatever.
Oh.
Well, top lane looks to be the end of the tier 1 tower as we know it. The Bate will be smoking here. They are 13k net worth behind.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Puppy is probably not the target of choice. Not going to get back into the game with just that kill. So they'll transition up to the top lane. Nisha does have a fire spirit up. See if they can catch him though.
Are they going to swap into Overgrowth?
Yeah, last hero. There's the swap, but the instant remnant.
That was quick.
He's a quick boy.
Slight dodged the gust, and then he got off his remnant. Oh, Matu is still being absolutely disgusting. Oh, now he's fast too.
He's coming.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, puts down another web. Is actually taking a lot of damage. This would be a big kill. They get him into the Sonic Wave as well. Will Secret want to continue? The trade was with the Vengeful Spirit. Nisha, not a whole lot of mana to speak of right now. Puppy continuing to get those multicasts off. Treant Protector pops the wand, but will likely go down to the right clicks. And indeed he does.
Yeah, we got the Brood though.
They sure did. What was their net worth lead? Wasn't it didn't they just gain 2k
I think they got
by
more,
losing?
I think they got more bounties maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Secret got both bounties. I think the trade itself was pretty even. Like 2-for-1 kills.
Oh, we can see. Yeah, very even, which again I don't understand. It's a Brood for 2 supports. There's no way in the world that this should be even when you're 15k behind. Very strange. Either way, Zai looks to be pretty dead here. Completely surrounded.
Lasso
Gets
into hammer.
off, but yeah. We'll do a lot of damage, but Dendi should live. And Matumba continuing to consume the enemy jungle. So has the Treads Ags going for Yasha into what exactly, syndereN? What do you buy on this hero these days? Do people get Bloodthorn, or is that an old school thing? I actually haven't. Since they changed Bloodthorn, I'm not sure.
It's solid. I think the Manta is the most important item first, just so you can get out of Overgrowth and Gust, and then it's way easier for him to play fights. Don't think BKB is really needed here, necessarily. So Manta, Bloodthorn sounds pretty good to me. You can also get a damage item. Last hero is in trouble mid.
Yep.
Well, hey,
he's
Fishman.
Gonna swap his
my bro.
Hey, you know what? You've died 7 times. Just take it for the team. Thank you. Well, let's look at the item progression for them. Enchantress is sitting on brown boots, so that, I mean, that was technically a good play. Less value, net worth.
Yeah. I mean, I would have done the same as the Venge there, but it's still funny.
Dandy. Fire blast onto Queen of Pain. The arrow is not in time. Yeah, they've been mistiming them a bit here. Perhaps a little overconfident. Very happy with their brood pick. We're gonna have a potential team fight here.
Zai's doing so much work
but Secret just continues the pressure. Crystal's already super low, forced to go back into his base. Overgrowth is available. Might have to use it next to his tier 3, but instead they'll just die. 2 dead buybacks on both Drow and the Treant Protector, as Secret will bide their time. We'll reset and probably just go back in. I don't see another. I mean, they are pretty close to a couple items, but they are so far ahead, and they have to know this. But I'm going to play a little bit safe. Still have the Roshan potential. I mean, with all this map control, figured that would be relatively easy to do.
I'll take your 1,000 to 1.
Deso, we didn't shake on it. Deso almost done here on Nisha's Ember. And Blink almost done for Zai. So he's going to have the initiation on top of basically the guarantee Meteor Hammer lasso target. Another smoke here for Bate. They do run into Nisha, but yeah. It's kind of an issue. Like, even I'm trying to think of the best way for them to actually even initiate off of that. Like, if you swap, that's still time to Remnant out. You need like an Orchid or something.
I have to swap into Gust. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, my
Tree's dead. Yep. That's some damage. Matu actually popped his ult for that, surprisingly. Still have some outer towers to take, of course. Basically, mid and bottom remain at this stage. Have they lost the tower? They have not lost the tower yet. Has there been damage done to the tower, syndereN? I'm checking that out
top
right
has
now.
taken 487 damage, and mid has taken 49.
Enchantress is, well,
Dandy's in trouble. Top Zai.
Okay, we can cast 2 different team fights at the same time. Zai is getting a kill there. Chrysalis, looks to be the next death for Bate. The baby swap here for last hero kills Fishman again, and this time it will also cost him his own life, as this was a mega stomp.
Yeah.
And we talked about how the games that we've cast in the past actually looks very similar to this, but this felt possibly more from just purely picks. Like the Brood, I mean, you said it pre-game, just 0 answer for this hero, so we can't say we're too shocked.
They're just really outpicked in lanes, I think. It's an amazing Brood game, it's an amazing Batrider game, and it's a good, like, none of their heroes struggle at all, and 2 of them will be mega impactful. Like, think of how much Zai was shut down and how little it ended up mattering as well. Like, they really tried to make this Bat struggle, and he ends up doing tons of work anyway. Yeah, this game must have been pretty relaxing for Secret. It was very easy to play from the get-go. They must have felt super confident when they all started tipping Matu before the game even began. He was really like, "Hey, puppy, give me Brood," and everyone was like,
"Yeah,
you know,
I can definitely see that."
There you go. Yeah,
I mean, not to cut you short here, so I don't think there's much to talk about this game. This was just very one-sided from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But either way, the game was not too meaningful for Bate, as we talked about. And Secret will continue their upward trajectory in their group. So their last match will be actually later today versus OG. And that should be really interesting because they are very similar score-wise. I'm not sure what the actual score is right now since they changed the system. But yeah, that is this series. So stay tuned for the next, guys. Until next time, SUNSfan syndereN, which I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.